Hey guys, what's up? It's Frank here coming to you from sunny Bali, and today I want to look into Polkadot. I want to help you guys understand why this is such a critical component of the cryptocurrency industry, why I personally have loaded up on some Polkadot and what it is all about. So obviously there's a lot of complicated aspects of Polkadot, but I'm going to try and break it down for you in simple terms, try and explain Polkadot in a way that is understandable to the general public. So we're of course going to go over the framework of Polkadot substrate. We'll talk about the relay chain, the parachains, how this is different from Ethereum. So, Polkadot versus Ethereum, of course, is a common search term, and for good reason, because it does compete with Ethereum in a lot of ways. It also helps Ethereum, but it is undeniable that it also competes with Ethereum. We're going to talk about bridges, how blockchains which are not even on Polkadot can benefit from Polkadot. We're going to talk about the value proposition of the blockchain platform, how it differs again from Ethereum, how it's valuable, why it's valuable. We're going to talk about the developer languages of Polkadot and how they differ from Ethereum, why they have advantages over Ethereum. We're going to talk about how Ethereum dApps can easily migrate to the Polkadot platform, talk about the fees, the scaling solutions. So lots of good stuff here. And I hope that by the end of this video, you will have a better understanding of what Polkadot is, why it's important, why you should definitely have an eye on it, and how it's going to transform not only the crypto industry, but even possibly the world as a whole in the years to come. If you enjoy this content and want to see more of it, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that notification button, as it really helps to support the channel. Before I get started, I just want to let you know that I am not a financial advisor and that trading and investing presents financial risks. So this is a post by multi.io research on medium.com, and they do a great job of explaining Polkadot. So of course it's a long post. I just highlighted some things which I think are the most important to explain what it is. So substrate, of course, is an open source framework that lets you build entire configurable blockchains in minimal time. Okay, so this is the backbone of the whole Polkadot ecosystem, this substrate. This is what allows you to build these blockchains. Now, the components that make up the Polkadot blockchain system are the relay chain and the parachains. So basically the relay chain is the main chain. It's the one that facilitates cross-chain interoperability. Now the parachains are of course what you've probably heard of, all these projects which are building on Polkadot. Well, they build on Polkadot using parachains. So the individual substrate-based blockchains connect to the Polkadot platform via available slots. And basically they lease these available slots using the .native token. So of course this gives value to the token. It means that the more of these projects which are building on Polkadot, the more value it has. That's why often when there's announcement of a new Polkadot parachain, it adds value and makes the Polkadot price increase. Now the parachains are free to use their own token in their platform for transaction fees. This is a really big improvement, and it's important because on Ethereum you're obliged to use Ethereum, and this is one of the reasons why the transaction fees are so high on Ethereum, and why it's also just impractical. If you want to send, for example, an ERC20 token like QNT, then you have to have Ethereum on your wallet for the other person to be able to receive it, for you to be able to send it. So here they will be able to use their own token for transaction fees. Definitely an improvement over Ethereum. Now we come on to bridges. So blockchains that are not built on the substrate framework like Bitcoin and Ethereum used specialized bridge contracts or modules to connect to Polkadot. So parachains can host the setup of the bridge. So basically these parachains, they allow all these blockchains to work together, and even if they're not on the Polkadot blockchain, even if they're not using the relay chain, using substrate, they can still connect to each other by these parachains when they host the setup. So it's really incredible because basically Polkadot, it's connecting the whole of the crypto ecosystem. Like you can use any blockchain. Of course, not yet. And this is an important part, guys. This is not all working yet. These parachains cannot yet be hosted on the relay chain. So this is something which we will get into in a bit. But of course, anything which is great takes time, right? Now, what is the value proposition of Polkadot? Polkadot provides the blockchain ecosystem with a new blockchain framework to build decentralized applications, just like Ethereum, but with interoperability, allowing builders to create specialized use cases that can scale independently. Now, this scaling aspect is very important, and we will learn a bit more about why these blockchains can scale independently and how it's different from Ethereum. Now, this is another advantage which Polkadot has over Ethereum, which is the blockchain research. Software developers familiar with the popular developer languages like WebAssembly and Rust can build smart contract applications, which makes it easier to experiment than Ethereum smart contract native language Solidity, which not many developers have experience with. So obviously it's always good to make it easier for developers to start building, because Solidity is a very complicated language which is not used by a lot of developers, although admittedly a lot more have started using it since Ethereum started. So here is another interesting advantage which Polkadot has. The substrate framework currently supports EVM, Ethereum Virtual Machine, that allows developers to migrate their Ethereum dApps instantly to the Polkadot platform. So basically, if you have a dApp on Ethereum, or a dApp, depends however you want to call it, you can immediately use it, instantly transfer it to the Polkadot platform. So it makes it very easy for you to switch, basically, which is very important because, of course, almost all dApps currently are on Ethereum. So they want to make it very easy for these developers to migrate to Polkadot. Now, here's a crucial difference again between Polkadot and other smart contract platforms, which you have to understand. Blockchain interoperability is a key part of the Polkadot platform, allowing each application to be built on its specific blockchain, but still allow interoperability. So remember that these blockchains are parachains. They're called parachains for a reason, because they are not built on the relay chain. They are individual, independent chains, blockchains. Unlike Ethereum, where all the blockchains are on the Ethereum network. They're not separate chains. You do, of course, have side chains, but that's a different matter. Now, again, something which is very important is the transaction speed. Of course, Ethereum, you may or may not know, currently has only 15 TPS, or transactions per second. Although, of course, there's a range of solutions. We've talked about Ethereum layer 2 solutions, scaling solutions, which will increase this drastically. But in any case, for Polkadot right now, the specialized substrate blockchains can reach 1,000 TPS transactions per second, at least according to a recent Gavin Wood presentation. So this is a great improvement on Ethereum. But that being said, guys, even 1,000 TPS will only be sufficient for the next few years, I personally imagine. I mean, at some point, we want to have even more TPS. But in any case, this is, of course, a huge leg up for Ethereum once these parachains start launching. So in terms of scaling solutions, parachains are free to configure the consensus model that affects its own blockchain security and speed, allowing them to scale more easily since they are just an interoperable independent chain. So remember I said that 1,000 TPS may not be enough. Well, these parachains are free to basically edit their blockchains, change things around so that they can scale more easily. Unlike Ethereum, where you need these layer 2 solutions and you're still working all with Ethereum with the same framework, right? Whereas these parachains, they're much more independent. They can, of course, they're using the Polkadot substrate framework, but they are way more independent than these dApps which are built on Ethereum. So specialized use cases like DEXs and lending platforms would therefore be operating independently, not affecting each other's transaction load. This is huge because on Ethereum, if you have one dApp which uses a lot of transactions, like for example Uniswap or USDT, which is transferred a lot, then this affects the whole blockchain platform, right? And this creates higher fees for everyone. Whereas here they operate independently, not affecting each other. It's huge. It's really just a massive improvement on Ethereum, I personally think. That being said, I'm still a huge fan of Ethereum. I think their network effect is really massive and people tend to underestimate that. But in any case, I'm not going to get onto that tangent right now. We're still here talking about Polkadot and why I personally own Polkadot and why I think that any crypto investor would be wise to have some Polkadot in their portfolio. Now, in terms of staking rewards, the DOT token holders, of course, can gain these rewards by staking their tokens. Now, very interestingly, currently 58.14% of all tokens are staked, according to staking.staked.us/Polkadot staking. So that's pretty incredible that so much of the DOT is currently staked. It obviously means that a lot of people are incentivized to stake and want to stake, which of course decreases the supply and therefore decreases the selling pressure. So very impressive stake rate. Now, in terms of DOT tokenomics, they talk about the validators and the nominators. That's a bit more technical. I'm trying to give more of a broad overview. So let's come again to the transaction fees, which of course is always a big topic of concern. The Polkadot blockchain charges transaction fees in DOT for transactions performed on the relay chain. So these transactions can pertain to DOT token transfers, staking actions, governance participation, and the setting of on-chain identities. Very similar to Ethereum, where you have to pay in ETH for these types of transactions. Now, this is interesting. The relay chain transaction fees get distributed at 20% to block producers and 80% to the treasury fund pool. So this is huge. This treasury fund pool, as we will learn shortly, is a huge boost for incentivizing new projects to join the Polkadot ecosystem. So the fact that so many of these go to the treasury fund pool really means that this is a great way to build Polkadot and to incentivize, lots of people to join it. Now, parachain transaction fees are not required to be denominated in DOT, and each parachain is able to set up their own transaction fee economic model. So again, this is unlike Ethereum, where if you want to send ERC20 tokens, you have to use Ethereum. Whereas here, they will be able to use their own transaction fee economic model, and they're not required to be denominated in DOT. However, of course, they do have to pay transaction fees to the relay chain in DOT. So again, as I mentioned, the treasury funds can be spent by anyone in the community as long as their proposal of the use is approved by the council. So you can literally have any idea, anything that you want to do which you think would be beneficial for Polkadot, even if it's just marketing material, and you can make a proposal here and you might even get paid to do that. So this is the beauty of decentralized systems like this. It's not like a centralized entity where you have to talk to one person and hope that they will agree. If a lot of people think it's a good idea, then you can basically get money working for Polkadot. Sounds really awesome to me. Now, in terms of governance, they say the Polkadot system's main use case for DOT is to participate in the governance of the platform, where network participants vote on protocol fees, network upgrades, and the addition or removal of parachains. So again, this is quite similar to other blockchain platforms, where governance does play a huge role in terms of the use case for that token. They cover more interesting topics like the parachain bonding, the parachain economics. We won't go into that right now, but of course the current status of Polkadot. What is the situation right now? Token holders can stake their holdings to secure the network, which over 50% of the token holders have already chosen to do. As I mentioned, this is huge. This means a lot of people have faith in Polkadot and basically just don't want to sell, which is definitely great news. Now, parachains will bring Polkadot's main functionality online that will allow projects to launch their blockchains on the Polkadot system and add the additional functionality to the DOT token of being bonded to parachain slots. So this next phase in Polkadot's development is the most anticipated from the overall crypto community, because there are already dozens of projects that are expected to launch as soon as the parachain slots become available. However, there is no set date for when the next parachain slots become available. So guys, in conclusion, Polkadot is super interesting. It's super important, super valuable for the whole cryptocurrency industry. I'm really excited for these parachains to launch on the substrate network, to launch on the mainnet, not just the Rococo testnet. But the fact of the matter is that Polkadot has not yet launched in its full version. Parachains are not yet able to launch on Polkadot. They're not able to lease the space. They're not able to create this demand for Polkadot, for the DOT token. And there is no set date for when this will happen. It could be sometime in 2021, but we just don't know exactly when it will happen, probably because there are so many intermediary steps before that actually happens. In any case, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked it, if you like this type of content, blockchain, cryptocurrency, Ethereum, Bitcoin. And with that being said, guys, I will see you in the next one.